What's going on, everybody? It's Luke here again from Mr. FBA, bringing you another video. So in today's video, we're actually going to be talking about something that I have noticed on some of my listings. It's to do with, is it better or more cost effective to actually bring your prices down? Now, rather than obviously raising your prices, because everybody adopts the make sure you do not undercut, lower prices, raise your pricing is the big thing. Obviously to make more profits. Well, I started looking at my European profits to check that I wasn't basically losing any money on some of the sort of cheap products, because obviously it's very easy to get caught out when a product may be under £15, that the fees are too high, and then you actually end up making like a break even or a loss, and you don't really realize it because you're making profit in the UK, plenty of it, and it's just the fees that are hitting you. So only when you really actually go into the data after, you notice what's going on after the fees. Because obviously you find out that some countries have different fees and they're always really high, almost no matter what product. So I went on, so I currently have Profit Protector Pro, and I don't use it for the UK because it doesn't have lots of rules. So there's like on BQ, there's about like 30 or 40 rules, and I really like that you can basically just optimize it for you personally. So almost like no one else is going to have those exact set of rules. So I don't use it for that just yet, but for the European marketplaces, sure. Why not? Because I don't actually pay for European repricing because the market isn't particularly worth it. Maybe over Christmas time, but not during the year. So I started looking at the sale price of my products on basically just my quarter, because I had to do my VAT return. So I was basically breaking down everything that was going on, and was sort of looking at the prices of my products that I was selling. And I was wondering, because I'm only basically going onto Seller Central and setting a set amount, I think it's £6 or £8 on top of my UK price, I decided, well, maybe I'm not optimizing that well, because by just slapping one price across every product that you're adding on to. So if a product's basically selling for £10 on UK and you just slap on £8, it's almost doubling the price. If something's selling for £40 and you slap on £8, well, the percentages are clearly not going to be the same. So I started to think, well, what I could do is I could make sure that I'm basically in profit or break even. Well, obviously making sure you're not losing money to start with, but basically make sure that I'm at least break even on all my European products, and there's like one item I think I'm breaking even on, the rest I'm in profit. So I was like, perfect. Did a couple of sample calculations to double check what was going on, and was like, right, well, maybe I could make more profit than I'm making. But the only reason that I don't know is because I'm slapping a generic price on top and not like fine-tuning that each listing or each ASIN. I'm not fine-tuning it to maximize the profits in Europe. Yeah, it's decent profit, but maybe I can get 50p or a pound more. Well, obviously, if you're selling hundreds of listings, it all adds up. So I decided that, well, maybe I will look at the sell price for the quarter as like an average of all the products, then go on to each of those listings. Took a bit of time, of course, and see what the current price is now. So if I'm still selling it, then fine, it's going to be whatever it is. But if it's someone else, has the historical keeper chart said about what price it sells for? If me slapping on £8 makes it €21.99, and it's selling, it sells 8 a month, 10 a month, which is great. But maybe I could actually sell it for €24.99 in euros. But because I'm not actually mucking around with that in too much detail, the repricing, I'm not able to actually get that higher end sale, because it's just I'm almost oblivious to the prices it's selling at on the platforms, apart from England or the UK. So what I did is I went into all the listings that I've not the odd one or two, but where I'm selling more than say 5 of an item in Europe every month. I went on to maybe 10, 15, 20 listings and just checked what it's currently selling at and what it has been selling at, and basically just checked what I could potentially maybe rise. Maybe I can raise the price €1 or €2 or €3. Just eke out a little bit more profit and not really do too much. And that's why I was going to go into Profit Protector Pro, because you get all of Europe for free. And if I know my sale price at the moment, I can basically just say my minimum is going to be whatever the new price is that I decide that the keeper charts and the page is telling me. So if I went onto a product I'll jump on and see. Now that got me thinking. So I started looking on my UK products, thinking, yeah, is there something I can, maybe not exactly the same sort of direct approach, but is there something similar, or the sort of mindset behind what I'm looking at able to help me? So what I did is I went onto this listing, maybe by chance, and I looked at it. I was like, okay, well, maybe I can get more money. And the reason I thought maybe I can get more money is because I'm the only seller selling it as FBA. Of course, you don't get that often, but then it got me thinking. So I'm currently the only seller that is doing FBA. So I basically will have the buy box. Obviously, I'm going to cover up most of the data on here, so you'll just see sort of bits and bobs. But it's more about the principle behind what I'm actually going to say. So obviously, you can see. I keep saying obviously, it's really annoying myself. You can see it's there is a relatively high amount of sellers, but actually they're all merchant fulfilled. You can see here, this guy here is merchant at 15.05, yeah, and that's the third one on the list. And obviously here I'm selling it at 11.99. And then it got me thinking, can I raise the price? Just like I was talking about in Europe, can I raise the price? So what I thought is, let's play around on here and see what we can, what profits we can make or not make, depending. Obviously, first I checked the keeper chart and thought, well, the top price that the product's been selling at is $14.99. So obviously, I'm not going to be bumping it up too much higher than that. Wow, $15.99 there. Okay, well, we'll play with these figures. And then it's been selling at $9.99, and I'm selling it at $11.99, and it's selling about 2 or 3 a day, and also in Europe as well. So it's 2 or 3 a day, and because I'm the only one on the listing, decent. It does do more, but I'd say averagely, just sort of take an average. You can see it sort of does chop and change. I'm not really sure what that line is, but yeah, I'm going to take that. So then I thought, okay, so let's just play around with this. So if I put in, let's just say I put in $14.99, it then gives me the profit of this. So it literally gives me my ROI of 75. So obviously at the moment, Jesus, let me just stop saying that word. 34, okay, 35. Let's say 35. Not bad. It's just that's fine. But do I want to eke it out more? I'm the only one on the buy box. Why wouldn't I raise it? Well, then it got me thinking. I've been the only one on this buy box for maybe a good while. Now, I actually did look on the keeper chart here, and I tried to analyze who else has been on it by clicking on these little Qs, triangles. I don't know why I thought it was a Q. And there is one other FBA seller that seems to like dip in and out. Basically, the name of that seller, I'm not going to go into it because you'll see and stuff, but it's the same for all of these. And obviously, then I'm going to stop. I'm going to make myself Luke stop saying this. So then, I'm the only other seller, and they don't see it. Well, they haven't been in stock for a good couple of weeks anyway. Cause I like to just check if I'm in the buy box. Obviously, when I go to check my repricing, I could go down. If I'm at $14.99, really, I can go lower. So I will obviously periodically check my sort of what I set my minimum as. I normally don't set my minimum as 30% on a repricer because I don't really want someone else to then set 30% and then two of us over about a month battle the price down. I'd rather say my minimum is a bit higher and then bring it down later, if you get what I'm trying to say. Just to sort of keep that, sort of maintain that sort of value on the product. So then I thought, okay, so currently I'm actually making this much profit. Okay, so I'm making £1.73, and you might think that's not great, but I'm the only seller and I'm selling at least 3 a day. So it's sort of a gimme. I'm gonna, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna basically make the sale every single time. I've never seen it being merchant. I've never seen it switch to merchant. Every time I check. So obviously, if you want to double check, you're doing that's 90 a month. We times that by £1.73, and this is including VAT. So I've added that in. It's £155 profit on one item, and it's a guarantee as long as that even if that other guy does come in, there's not actually competition, so it would just dilute down the that would just divide by 2 or whatever. And obviously it does say 72 to 83, but I think it's just because the keeper chart is done on an average of 3 months, and this is quite low, but I'd say it's probably, actually, yeah, that is about right, isn't it? Yeah, if I said it was about 90, because this is only for the UK marketplace, and you can see here, I think I'm selling it in those, yeah, so that's too cheap, Europe. So I'm selling it in these 2 countries at about 22 euros. Yeah, okay, that is about right. It's always sometimes hard to know. So then I thought, okay, well, why am I being stupid? Shouldn't I just check all my listings, and if I am the only FBA seller, to bump it up? Because it doesn't bump. Basically, I said it. I've checked the max on this, and it's above. My max is above this, so it doesn't actually seem to be repricing it up. Now that might just be the repricer, and it's not working properly, or it might be something that I've not set, but luckily it hasn't, because if it was this, let's say it did reprice to $14.99, it would obviously look really, really great, yeah? So let's just do the calculation again on that one. If we were actually taking this as the value that we were taking per month, we could do we could almost double, yeah, £340 profit on the one product. So I thought, okay, well, I need to be careful not to raise it too high, because it's not going to sell. I can't put it for 50 quid. It clearly is selling at $14.99, but I'd rather just test. I'd rather bring it up a bit. I'd rather bring it up maybe to 12, or try it at 14, but expect it maybe to come down in between for the sort of middle value. Just by looking at that. So then I decided, hang on a second, why would I want to raise the price? Because this information here looks decently healthy, yeah? And this information here at 11 looks okay. But it enhances the value of the product, because obviously I'm the only seller. That's why it becomes sort of a more appealing product. If I raise the price, let's just get to the point, Luke. If I raise the price, this product will now probably appear on deal sheets and will be picked up by virtual assistants, and will basically become, okay, I just accept I say that word, it will become a product that others will find and sell. Now, I did a quick calculation before the video. If another 1.5 sellers jump on, I know it's obviously you can't get the 0.5, but if 1.5 sellers jump on, I'm actually losing money. And the way I see that is I'm making $3.78 if I raise the price, and if I keep it at 11, so that's just so we can actually do the calculation exact here. So I'm making £3.78, yeah, profit. If I keep it as it is, I'm actually making £1.73. So the difference in that is £2.05. So if I raise the price, I'm making £2.05 more profit per sale than if I at the high price. Well, that means I'm basically doing 2 and a bit sales. It's the equivalent of doing 2 and a bit sales of this price than if I just kept it at that price. I think you are following along. So if someone else jumps on the listing and we split the listing, so I get half the sales, they get half the sales. Yes, I am making that profit, but I'm actually doing half the amount of sales, so I'm halving my profit every month. Yeah. But because the profit is actually more than double, I'm actually making a little slither if someone else jumps on. If another person jumps on and there's then 3 sellers, I am then making a sort of 33% of the sales. That's if there wasn't even a price war. This is not getting rid of any of those variables. Then I'm actually losing money over the month, because I'm now getting only a fraction of those sales at this much, and then that's not even talking about pricing wars, because this product, that's play around with it. If people are going minimum 30%, yeah, we can probably get it down to that. No, we can't. We can get down to that. Yeah, around that price. Yeah, that's just 5. Not that it really matters because we're just playing around. But you see, so now it's even lower. So it could even be that I'm now getting £1.50 profit, and there's 3 sellers, or there's 4 sellers, or there's 5. So, you know, and by the time you get to that point, this product is probably not going to be worth it. So you can see back here, historically, it's selling at £9.99. Well, if we just type in those numbers, and it doesn't mean that, you know, it doesn't mean that someone isn't going to come back on later, okay? But there's no point breaking something that doesn't need fixing. I don't even know what it is. You get what I mean? And yeah, you're making £1. Some people have like, I'm making a minimum of £1 on a sale. But for me, I wasn't really selling it. If I had any left in stock, I would sort of sell it at £9.99 because you're still making £1. But I would not really worry. I would sort of wouldn't restock the product because it's basically replenishable. So I'm big on replenishables because you can just keep on cycling through. So I can literally just go and buy another, you know, however many I really want of these, and send them in, and then I can just keep doing it every day, as long as I don't go out of stock. But I rarely ever see that, and it just proves with the data I've just provided that it isn't always the best source of profits by raising a price, which I've never ever heard of before. Like, because everyone will say, "Don't go cheaper." Like, I've never heard one person say go cheaper, basically. Maybe a couple if you can like push through the sales velocity. So if you can like drop it to a penny, obviously you're going to get 1 million sales. Yeah, but yeah, I understand that. But where the sales, you know, they're not going to change too much by doing this, and it will keep out the competition because, you know, you got to bear in mind that there's also prep costs. So you got to assume that most people are using prep. Well, half the people may be using prep centers, so they have additional costs. So the profit has to be a certain, you know, price. So you know, for example, I don't outsource all that. I can look at products with profit of maybe a couple of quid because I know that people that are using Prep Center will not be able to sell it because the cost will be at least £1 per unit, maybe a bit more, and it's not going to be any profit in it. So the competition's lower, and also lower the profit sometimes, you know, below £4, I believe. You can. It's not going to show up on a lot of deal sheets because the profit, or £3 or £4. I can't remember exactly what it. I think it's 4, 5. Whatever. It's not going to show up on a lot of deal sheets. And again, this would not show up on a deal sheet because the profit is not good enough, which is great. You know, and that's what with any Amazon seller, I'd always say this is the approach you need to adopt, or at least try, or at least be open to, because if you follow what everyone else is doing, signing up for all the basic subscriptions, which are great because obviously I'm signing up for the subscriptions, but then not be like, that's it, everything's cool, we're going to log on, we're going to buy the products, we're going to send them in, and we're going to sell them, and then we're going to do it again. Just, yeah, you can do that, but that's why you'll see a lot of people in the groups saying that, almost not moaning as such, but really getting a bit confused about, oh, it isn't how I thought it would be. This person's underpriced, this person's done this, and like I don't even really think about that. That doesn't even come into my mind what others are doing. It's like, okay, it's almost, you know, but it doesn't. Not like that. I'll think, okay, they've done that. I'll just do this. Done. Next, like 1 second thought. And you just move on to the next thing. And you move on to the next thing. You literally just work around it. Which is relatively simple to do. It's not, you know, you just think, well, okay, what do I do that others aren't doing? That, do it, done. I know it's not always as easy as that because some people generally can't do that, but you understand what I'm trying to get at. If you really want something enough, and you spend enough time looking at something, you'll find the answers. So it is really great. Good, great. It is basically the best thing to be doing is looking outside the box sometimes and not always following what everyone else is doing, because, you know, you got to think. A lot. That's just demonstrate the high street retailers. You know, if they're all following each other and they're all doing exactly the same, well, then what differentiates themselves between each other? Not much. Maybe a bit of history. Woolworths, well, that worked out well. Toys R Us, that worked out well too. You know, and a lot of them are like just disasters at the moment, aren't they? Really. So and you know, Amazon. Well, who else really does anything that is like Amazon? Very limited companies. Like, no, you know, Amazon's almost, you know, in the people's minds, it's they're a monopoly, which they basically are, but I guess a self-built monopoly. Anyway, not going to waste any more time. Have a great day, and hopefully you got some you got some sort of like use out of this, and it just helps sort of broaden your mind in terms of what can be done, or maybe I always say be open-minded in everything you do, forever. Like never think you've forgot the answer, because as soon as you think you've got the answer, you probably haven't got the answer. So forever in everything you're doing, always be sort of flexible and malleable, because you always, you can only, your decision's only based on the amount of information you've got, and most people don't have every piece of information that's ever existed. So you've got to be open to that possibility, and this will hopefully just give you another view on ways to maybe maximize your profits, which is amazing to say that lowering your prices could actually maximize more profits, but it seems to have appeared somehow from this video. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.